3 people with suspected ties to ISIS have been arrested in Turkey. One of them is suspected of scouting target sites for last Friday's attacks. We're continuing to follow this story, and we'll have more information when it gets in. In the meantime, France is beefing up security. 10,000 military personnel are now deployed across the country. There's been nearly 800 searches carried out in the past week. 174 weapons were found and seized by the authorities, and 164 people considered dangerous have been placed under house arrest. Now, here with me to discuss all of this is Nathalie Goulet. She is a French member of the Senate. And, Madam, what was your reaction when you heard about these Turkey arrests that came this morning? That someone's been arrested who apparently was also part of this sort of scouting out the scene.
Well, we have been very suspicious with Turkey for a long time. You know, we had a lot of trouble with them, and then there is this traffic of passports and the borders, which are not safe with
Turkey. Because it's an entry point to Syria.
Yeah, it's a very important point of enter, and then also a big part of the traffic comes from Turkey. At the same time, we were expecting something from the Turkish authority, and so it's a good thing.
It also comes as the investigation moves forward. We're still looking for one of the suspects, Saleh Abdeslam, but at the same time, many people believe that the web of those involved in all this was a lot bigger. What do you think? How much more arrests can we expect? How will this investigation move forward?
Well, it's not my place to interfere in the investigation, of course. I'm just a member of the Senate.
Right, but people are talking about it.
People are talking, but at the same time, we have to be very cautious, because more you talk about that, and more you can make the suspect aware about where and who is looking for them. So what we know for sure from the very beginning is that this operation was very strong, very organized, like an octopus, with a lot of ramification, and was a real strong connection with a target to kill. So we are now expecting some news from Belgium.
What about the mood here in Paris? I mean, we're now a little bit over a week since all of this happened. How are people here dealing with it? How is the city dealing with it? How is France dealing with this?
Well, I think that we are still under a very emotional shock. And also, it's like a twilight zone.
The twilight zone.
Yeah. It means that the day-to-day life is back, but at the same time, we have those picture of smiling young people in mind, like engraved. And we cannot get rid out of them. And then we think the family, the funeral didn't start yet. We will have a national ceremony with the President of the Republic next week in Invalides. So I think we are going to cross very painful time.
At the same time, all of this has also caused a political reaction. Yesterday, the Upper House of Parliament approved the emergency measures being extended. What sort of situation does that create politically? Because at the same time, you have a discussion here, you have a fear of Islamophobia in the wake of all this. What do you make of the political discussion and the social discussion that's going on?
We had a strong unanimity to vote this emergency state. We have absolutely no doubt of the will of the government and the Minister of Interior to fight. So it was very important for us to support our police and also the government for what they are doing and what they will do. You know, it's something like a real emergency state. And at the same time, we are now facing election under a state of emergency, which is a brand new situation. So I think that people will probably react, considering that the government was really doing a good job. Or they will fall into national front arms with this so bad expression that they use, which is terrible, like immigration of today will be terrorism of tomorrow. And that scares me a lot.
Yeah, that's scary. Thank you very much, Nathalie Goulet, for joining us today.